welcome to another science lesson with me, where we're going to continue to look at our new topic of digestion and teeth. Okay, so last lesson we looked at parts of the digestive system. Okay, and this lesson we're going to look at functions of the parts of the digestive system. Now, functions just simply means jobs. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the jobs of those parts of the digestive system. Okay, so your learning objective is to describe the simple functions of the basic parts of the digestive system. Now, the part of the digestive system is what we did last lesson, and we'll recap that again today. But we're going to focus on the functions of those parts. So we're going to focus on the jobs of those parts. Okay, so by the end of this lesson, you should be able to name the parts of the digestive system. And guys, that's just recap from last lesson. You are going to be able to identify the parts of the digestive system. And again, that's just recap from last lesson. And then your new learning, guys, is you're going to know the functions of each part of the digestive system. And all of this will help you then to understand how food travels through our bodies. Okay, so by the end of this lesson, guys, you are going to be able to answer this big question of how does food travel through our bodies. And now with the information that you learned last lesson and the information that you're going to learn this lesson, you should be able to have a really detailed explanation to this question. Okay, so first of all, we're going to do a recap. What is the digestive system? Just have a little pause of the video and have a little think. What can you remember about what is the digestive system? All right then, guys, welcome back. Hopefully you remembered then that we need food so that the body has enough energy to survive. The digestive system is a series of organs that breaks down food so it can be absorbed by the body. And it also gets rid of waste from the food. So quite simply, guys, that just means we've got lots of different parts in our body that help us break down food that we eat, okay? And that is known as the digestive system, okay? So looking at another recap, can you remember all the different parts of the digestive system? And can you remember what happens to food when we swallow it? Okay, so have a little think, pause the video. What is going to be under these boxes? And can you remember the journey of what food takes, okay, once we have eaten it? All right then, guys, welcome back. So hopefully you remembered that first of all, food enters through our mouth, where it is then chewed up and made into smaller parts by the teeth. Okay, and then also in our mouth you have your tongue, okay, which then helps mix the saliva and the food together. And once it's been broken down into smaller parts into the mouth, it then travels down the esophagus, okay, and then into your stomach, and then from the stomach it goes into your small intestine, and then from the small intestine it goes into the large intestine, where then once traveled through, it then finally reaches your rectum. Okay, guys. Now, what I would suggest, if you're struggling with this still a little bit, pause the video and make sure you have a little look at this and see if you can tell yourself the journey that food takes by using this different vocabulary here. Okay, guys. Super. Now that you've learned the different parts of the digestive system, we're going to learn about what each part does to the food and its function. And just remember, guys, the word function just means job. So we're going to have a little look at what each of those parts job is. Okay, so let's start off with the mouth. Okay, and the mouth, guys, is just the entry point for the food. So that is where you pop the food in, and that is where the digestion starts. Okay, and also in the mouth, it is where saliva mixes with food. Okay, so It's also where you can find your tongue and the teeth, which are other parts as well. So quite simply, the mouth is where you put your food in, and then the saliva mixes it with the food. Okay. And then you've also got the teeth, and the job of the teeth is where it tears, cuts, and grinds food into smaller pieces. So this really is your chopping tool to make the food into smaller pieces. Okay. Then we've got the tongue. And so once the teeth has broken it down into smaller parts, your tongue helps mix the food and saliva together. Okay, so your teeth is your chopping tool and your tongue is your mixing tool. Okay, and then once it's broken down into smaller pieces and it's all mixed in with the saliva, it then travels down your esophagus. And the job of this, okay, is quite simply, it's just a path that goes from the mouth to the stomach to allow the food to travel to your stomach. Okay. And then once it's gone down your esophagus, it goes into your stomach. And the job of the stomach, guys, is it just breaks the food down even further. And this is done by glands and enzymes in your stomach. Okay. And then also in the stomach, once it's been broken down even further by those glands and enzymes, the muscles in your stomach mix the food again, and it just keeps on mixing it. Okay, guys. And then once it's been into your stomach, it goes into the small intestine. And the job of the small intestine is to take all the nutrients from the food that your body can use. So it'll absorb all the good things and all the healthy things and all the nutrients that your body can use. And so then once it's absorbed all those good things from the food will then go into your large intestine. And the job of the large intestine is to take all the water from the food so that your body can use it, okay? And then once it's taken the water from the food, it then has the path. It also makes another one of these paths that will then take all the food, the leftover bits that the body cannot use, and it will take it through the large intestine and into your rectum. Okay, and the rectum is where it stores all of your poo and all of the waste from the food that the body cannot use. And now the clever thing about the rectum as well, it also talks to your brain, and it makes the brain aware of when you need to go to the toilet and get rid of all that waste in your body that the body cannot use. Okay, so your first task for today then, guys, is you're going to look at this picture and you're going to tell me the parts of that number, and you're also going to tell me the function. Now this first part, the name of the part, is just exactly what you did last lesson, okay guys, so that's just a recap. But now I want to know the function of these parts as well, okay. Now it's entirely up to you guys. You can write this on a piece of paper, or you can head over onto Teams where you'll see this sheet, and just quite simply you can press inside the boxes and you can type your answers in there. Okay guys, now you might want to rewind this video just a little bit and pause it at certain parts to help you do task 1, and that is absolutely fine. But just as a quick example, number 1, I can see there using these words here that I think that is the mouth, so I'm going to put the mouth, and I know from taking notes and looking back at the video that the function of the mouth is where it's the opening part of where you put your mouth, the food into your mouth, and it mixes with the saliva. Okay, and then number 2, I can see that it's the tongue, and I know my tongue is my mixing tool, and so it mixes the saliva and the food together, and so on, guys. So you would tell me all of the parts and all of the functions. Okay, and what I've done here as well, I've just added teeth on there because you can't see teeth on there. It's really difficult to see in that picture. So I've just added teeth on because teeth is a really important part of the digestive system as well, and we need to know the function of the teeth as well. All right then, guys. And then once you've done that, guys, you're going to go on to task 2, which is answering this big question of how does food travel through our bodies. Now, in order to answer this, You need to be able to have used all of these words that you see here in the black bit here. You need to have all of those words in your answer. If you've not got all of these words in your answer, then it means you're either missing something or you've not quite explained it correctly. Okay, so I've just got an example here. Now, this isn't the full answer. This is just maybe the first part, because here, guys, I would expect quite a big paragraph to answer this, not just 1 or 2 sentences, but quite a few sentences into a paragraph. Okay, so just an example could be, first, the food is put in your mouth where your teeth grind up the food into small parts. It is broken down further by your tongue and saliva. Next, the food travels down your esophagus and into your stomach where, and then I would explain the function, the job of the stomach. Okay, guys. So really what you need to be doing is explaining the journey of the food and then explaining the job of each part it goes through. Okay, guys. So again, it's up to you. You can answer this on a piece of paper and email it across, or you can head over onto Teams where on exactly the same sheet, you've got a box here to answer it as well. Okay, guys. Now that does end our session for today. So we look forward to seeing the answers to these big questions and giving you some feedback on them. All right, guys. So thank you very much and take care.